The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Fore!
Welcome, friends, to Golf is a Four-Letter Word, the show that gives you the inside scoop on the best public courses in New England and other golf hotspots. So whether you're a worm burner or a total ace, join us at the 19th hole while we talk all things golf. Now approaching the tee box, your hosts, Craig and Janine Dufton.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
It has just been a great couple of weeks here, and last week's show was absolutely incredible. So good that we kept the same clothes on to do this week's show for you.
Yeah.
And we're just going to record. We're just recording another sit down with Jay Miller. Welcome back, Jay.
Welcome back.
This is a blast.
We've been having a freaking blast and talking,
So
and we're
much
like
fun talking to you.
And we're like, everybody, shut up. We need to put this on podcast. We can't be talking about stuff that's not going to be on the podcast.
A lot of good talks going on.
It happens a lot. You're like having all this banter before the show. We're like, wait a minute. This
absolutely-
is amazing content. Everyone stop talking. Press record.
So, Christy, in podcast talk, is this our second 18-hole round?
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are back.
Right.
We're back on the tee
Love
with
it.
Jay Miller, general manager, entrepreneur, golf fanatic, golf legend at Purdue,
Yeah.
and
Charismatic. That's another word,
everything, all the best parts of the Bible too,
There you
and just an all around great guy. He's just been
Thank
so
you.
great and gracious, and we want you guys to hear
Lot
some
of
more
fun.
stories because you don't ever get to hear great stories like these. So we're actually going to flip things around because we end our show with a quote, but we're actually going to start our show with a quote because our front nine today is sponsored by our friends at Fairway Mortgage, right? They're just a great group of people up there at the ELK Mortgage team and Fairway Mortgage. You can reach Josh and his team at 603-570-9338. Experienced, local, and knowledgeable, the ELK Mortgage team. Now, Jay,
Yes.
Your last quote was great with Jack that you gave us last week, and you got another one from another legend. And
Mr. Palmer, who I've played with, and as everyone knows, I got thrown or dropped in a lake by him. But I love the quote he has: "Is I have a tip that can take 5 strokes off everyone's golf game. It's called an eraser." You know. Another one of my favorite quotes was Tommy Bolt played professional golf. He was a legend, but he was a club thrower, and this is before they penalized you for throwing clubs. I mean. One time he threw his putter on top of a clubhouse in a U.S. Open. But
Oh, my God.
Ben Hogan asked him, "Tommy, you got a new putter?" And Tommy goes, "Yeah, Ben." He goes, "Does it work?" And he goes, "Well, it flies a lot further than my last one."
how much did you get? Did you get a stroke penalty, or did you get fined, or what?
Well, I
was
can
it?
remember playing in the Kepler Classic with Colin Dinglish III from Scotland, played at Ohio State, and then Julius Boros III, the grandson of Julius Boros. And I was really having a bad putting day, and I'm 2 under par, and I 3-putt 3 holes in a row. Now, these are pro-style greens, and they're, they're faster than bikini wax, put it that way.
Yeah.
They're really fast greens. And I threw this putter across the creek to the next tee box, and Colin Dinglish is a freshman, and I'm a junior. And I don't mind mixing it up. I never start a fight, but I'm never going to run from one. And he says to Jules, "I think we ought to penalize Jay 2 strokes." And I'm like, "Really?" I grabbed the putter, I put it back in the bag, and I took my whole bag and I threw it. And I'm like, "You penalize me, I'm going to beat the shit out of you right here." And he goes, "You know something? We'll give him a warning." But yeah, it is, and that's another thing about youth golf. And parents will come up to me and say, "I really don't like how Craig gets kind of angry." And I'm like, "Well, there's 2 ways to handle anger on a golf course, especially for competitors. If you can keep it inside and let it go, that's one.
Yeah.
Or if you need to get it out and it's done with and it's gone, that's the other way."
Yeah.
So either way, but
holding it in doesn't help.
No,
And
holding it in
honestly,
doesn't help.
as a former club thrower myself,
Well, I am.
because I found out that these clubs are way too freaking expensive these days to be hucking them anywhere.
I am a 4-time. I'm the only Purdue golf team member that won the club throwing contest 4 years in a row, and I have a $20 bill when I gave Bobby Knight 17 yards throwing 5 irons, and I beat him by like 22 yards, so I won by 5 yards, and I have a signed $20 bill from Bobby Knight. But
How many people can say that they have a $20 bill signed by Bobby Knight?
I used to collect, anytime I play with a tour player, it's funny about tour players. They claim they're a 0 handicap, but you can look it up. It's a +6, +5.
Right.
And like when I play with Esteban, he gives me 3 aside. Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm a 3 handicap, anywhere from 2 aside to 3 aside.
Yeah.
Back in his prime, I was getting 3 aside and 1 mulligan, and he decided that mulligan could kill him on that. But I've probably got, I don't know, 20, 30 $1 bills signed by touring pros, and I make them sign it the same thing.
That's great.
A different day, same result. I can't beat Jay, and then you sign it, and they could lose $40 to me, but sign that $1 bill, Craig. You're like, oh God, this pisses me off to do it. But we're talking about funny things, and I have played with celebrities, comedians, tour players, presidents, friends. But probably the funniest person I've ever played golf with is the most famous golf instructor in the world, and that's Butch Harmon.
Yeah.
Butch is in his
Everybody
70s
knows,
now, and I mean, thanks to him and his brother Claude, Dustin Johnson turned his game around into a major champion because of a short game, 100 yards in. But Butch will tell you a joke on every tee box and every green. And I played with him in a partners tournament in Las Vegas 6-7 years ago, Cascada Golf Club, which if you ever go to Vegas, you got to play Reflection Bay, run by a Purdue graduate,
Vegas,
Eric Dutt. You can call me or call Craig, and we can set you up there at a discount. Cascada and Rio Seca. Rio Seca is the home of Butch Harmon's school. So the one joke, out of 36 jokes, I heard 2. 34 jokes, and I love jokes, and I love listening to jokes, but 2 jokes I'd heard. And my favorite one is about this 80-year-old guy that goes in for his full physical. And the doctor says, now, Craig, tomorrow I need you to bring me back in this empty jar a semen sample. And Craig turns to the doctor and says, are you friggin' kidding me? I'm 80 years old. This last time you'll ever have to do it. So Craig comes into the office the next day, and he puts this empty jar on the doctor's desk, and the doctor says, Craig, what happened? He said, I'll tell you what happened. Because I tried with my right hand, I tried with my left hand. I tried with both hands. My wife, Janine, got involved. She even took her teeth out. Then our next-door neighbor, Chrissy, came over. She tried underneath her armpit, underneath her kneecap. We can't get the top of this damn jar off. Butch Harmon is absolutely hilarious.
I think Craig's going to repeat that.
Actually, you know what?
I'm
It's
gonna-
Craig's fault.
I'm just going to turn the rest of the podcast over to Jay.
Get a
And
giveaway.
if Jay's got any questions for Janine and I, and we're going to actually, before we get any further, we are going to give away some more stuff from our great friends here at Stirling Golf Management. All right, here's the thing. We're going to start talking about hole-in-ones in a few seconds. All right, so you're going to win a twosome of golf with a cart. We'll mail you the gift cards. Just send us an email that says, or a text or a private message that says hole-in-one. If you've gotten a hole-in-one, if you can even put ... where you got the hole-in-one, how many yards it was, that would be great. We'll feature you on another show.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching our show. So if you get a hole-in-one, if you had a hole-in-one in your life, I have yet to have one. I was close a couple times, but I'm still working on it. So text us at hole-in-one. You'll get a great. You get 9 golf courses to choose from.
We have 8 golf courses.
to choose
Hey,
from.
let's add one more to that. So if you've had a hole-in-one,
Yep.
and the first one that texts or writes in,
Yep.
and the first person that texts or writes in saying they had a hole-in-one at a Stirling golf course.
Oh, there you
You
go.
can go to
There you go.
stirlinggolf.com, look up our 8 courses, and if you had a
Excellent.
hole-in-one there, name the course and
Yep.
the hole, And yeah.
All right, so there
All
you
right,
go.
so
We got,
someone.
we
let's
got
use-
2 sets for the general public. If you got a hole in one and it
Yep.
wasn't at a Stirling golf course, well then, God damn it, get to a Stirling golf
That's
course.
very generous.
Excuse
I
my
think
language, and get yourself a hole in one at one of those courses.
All right, so for general, go use the code hole-in-one. And
Yep.
if it's Stirling hole-in-one, use the code Stirling hole-in-one. And
Yeah.
make sure right after you type that part,
And name that. And name us
which
the
one it
hole.
was
We want to know
so
the
that
hole.
we know.
want to know the golf
and
course.
that will win you a...
And we want you to get out there and play these beautiful golf courses. They're beautifully
Yeah.
done. They've transformed these 8 golf courses all through
Yeah.
Massachusetts, and they're doing a great job.
Hand mowed greens. Yeah, I'm very proud of
I was
our-
going to say, I
can't
can tell.
wait.
For those that are watching, you can see it. But for those listening, you can, as soon as we talk about the course, you can see the pride on Jay's face.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I can't
You
wait.
can tell you're very proud of him. I think
So
it's
let's get back to
fantastic.
Jay because he
Yes.
doesn't have anything to say on this
No,
show.
he's so
Jay,
quiet.
let's
Very
talk about
cool.
your hole-in-ones. How many hole-in-ones have you had?
I've had 10.
10.
Excellent.
Okay.
Now, see, there's the reason I've had 10. It's documented that I grew up in Springfield, Illinois, and by 2:30 in the afternoon, there's wind 15, 20 miles an hour. Okay, and my instructor, anyone can hit a golf ball straight downwind.
Sure.
But we set up different tee boxes that the hardest wind to hit a golf ball into for a right-handed player is a left to right coming into you. A right to left, you can hit a big Texas tumbler, it's not a problem. Or a wind straight into you. So I learned at an early age how to hit a knockdown shot. And you guys watching TV, ladies golf, seniors, or PGA, they'll say, well, you know, he's flighting it down. And everybody's like, Jay, how do you hit that shot? And I'm like, well, first of all, it's proof of a wasted childhood. But you don't cock it at the top, and you don't uncock it. So the club head will never get any loft. So you play it a little bit back in your stance. You take it back about 3/4, and you hold on to it to flight it down. So I hit a lot of knockdown shots, unless the pin's up in front. But if you give me the middle or the back of the green's 30 yards long, I'm going to flight, like 142 instead of hitting a high 9-iron. I'm going to knock down an 8-iron, hit it, skip it, and let it roll. Now, if it's rolling, it's got a better chance of going in the hole than flying it and backing it up.
Right.
So I've had 10 hole-in-ones. I've had 3 albatrosses. That's a double eagle. But my favorite hole-in-one ever is in 1992 at the Point South Mountain in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm there at a business conference, and I'm a keynote speaker, and the chairman of the conference from New Orleans and 2 other guys come up and said, hey, Jay, any chance you'd play golf with us today? And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm the best player you'll ever play with. And they're like, really? You're that confident in yourself? And I'm like, I'm just bullshitting you, And they said, well, we've got a case of beer, and we're playing the Point South Mountain at the hotel. Now, this is a golf course that the hotel built this golf course, and they didn't have enough land, really. And number 18 is 350 yards, and the tee box is 150 feet above the fairway. And the hole's only 360 yards with a small pond in front of the green. And Craig, as strong as you look, it's a stupid hole. You'd hit like a 6-iron and a sand wedge.
Sure.
Right? Well, we've had plenty of beers, and in fact, we're drunker than 14 Indians. And there's a thunderstorm coming. You can see it 30 miles away, but the wind is now 30 miles an hour. It just changed like that. And I did carry a 1-iron at the time, and I still have the club that I made the hole-in-one with. And the tee box is really small. I mean, that's it. On top, you walk up these stairs, you're on the top of a mountain looking over everywhere, and there's the hole straight downhill. And the 3 guys hit, and I get over the ball, and I put my beer can down and my cigar down, and I get over the ball, and I start doing the Caddyshack routine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it looks like he's got about 358 yards. He's a keynote speaker at the development conference here in Phoenix, Arizona. It looks like he's got a 1-iron. And I take a swing. As soon as I hit it, I'm like, oh, my God, he got all that one. It's in the hole. And son of a bitch, this ball flies, barely clears the pond, 2 hops, and wham, right in the hole.
Wow.
And you predicted it and said that whole
It was
thing.
all BS. Okay, so I shoot 64, set the course record, and have a hole-in-one. And
While drinking beers.
What
and
did they
smoking
okay,
say?
so
cigars.
now it's time. The guy with the hole-in-one's got to buy all the drinks, right? So it's the opening game of the Lakers-Phoenix Suns in the playoffs. Okay, so we go to the big sports bar, and there's like 150
how
people, and I'm like,
exciting.
no, wrong bar. So we went back to our carts. We go a mile down the road to this little honky-tonk where there's horses tied up and everything. Okay, so we've left the property. That's a felony with 2 golf carts. and I walk in,
That's a
and there's a
felony.
beautiful bartenderess like Chrissy, and I'm like, young lady, I'm Jay Miller. You probably heard of me, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big
but I'm
deal.
buying drinks for everybody. I just made a hole in one on the 18th hole.
I'm not buying it
And,
for 150 people in the other bar.
And there might be 12 people on there, few with a full set of teeth and et cetera. So we're drinking, and they do have great food, and it's now 2.5 hours later. Okay.
God.
And all of a sudden, there's a tap, tap, tap on my shoulder, and I don't turn around. I'm like, yeah, what do you need? He goes, are you the boy that made the hole in one? I'm like, you damn right I am. Tequila, whatever you want, just order. He goes, I don't think so. And I turn around, there's a mountain of a man. He's a sheriff.
Oh, my.
There's 3 sheriffs in there.
And he absconded with the golf cart.
And he's like, we've got a problem, boys. Now, Charlie Himes with me, the chairman of the conference, thank the Lord, from New Orleans. You got 350 people staying in the hotel and the conference and everything.
Yeah.
This is our last day, and then we all fly out the next day. So he makes a deal with them. They put us in the squad cars. They take the golf carts back. We put our clubs in our hotel, and they walk us to each hotel room. And they're like, Janine, Craig, Chrissy, Jay, if we find out that you've left this room before 7:30 tomorrow morning, we're coming down to arrest you, and you're going to spend the night in jail.
Oh, my God.
And that's my favorite hole-in-one story. The second one is at Virginia Country Club in Long Beach. Number 15 is 157 yards. Blind hole up there. You can see the flag and the group in front of you. Very private club and a beautiful club. On my, 44th birthday, September 22nd, I made a hole-in-one with Dr. Golf, Von Nixon, a very popular surgeon, and 2 of my golf pros that, I took them as a golf course owner. I took them. The next year, September 22nd, I take 2 of my different golf pros from one of my other courses, pins in the same place, same club, same win, hole-in-one with Doc. Back-to-back years, same golf hole.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God,
I mean,
that's great.
so the thing about it is Mo Norman will say, the ball will fit in the hole. And I can tell you right now, Craig, you make 1 hole-in-one, you look at it totally different on a par 3. Well, wait a minute, I've done this before. I can do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that
great.
idea.
That's half the battle.
Yeah.
I thought I had one yesterday, but
On what hole?
I got up there on the 17th hole of Hickory Hill in Methuen, and everyone's like, oh, it's really close. Tap in. I get up there. It's like 8 feet away. But I made the putt for birdie anyway.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I don't have that sound clip. Just tap it in.
You don't have it?
Tap,
Tap,
Tap
tap,
it in.
tap,
I thought it was
tap.
going to be I thought it was going to be a
Tap,
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 tap.
tappy.
And see, here's the thing about, some people talk to their golf ball, some don't, okay? I talk to my golf ball. Touring pros talk to their golf ball. You just can't, you can't call it bitch, and you can't call it the word that starts with a C.
Yep.
Okay? That golf ball will not listen to that.
Yep.
Okay?
Okay.
Could you have tried it and it didn't work?
Oh, yeah, I learned that at a very young age. Now, down in Texas, there's a couple,
Sorry, I had to.
couple great stories down in Texas. So I go down to this private club, and they take me into the men's grill room, 38 men, and there's a guy. So they have a big screen of my credentials and all this stuff, and they welcome me and blah, 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 right? And they got Wayne McIntyre. He owns a big plumbing place down there in East Texas, and his nickname's Bubba. Okay, and he's going to represent the club, and he's going to do a question and answer thing with me. So he comes up and he goes, Jay, we got to ask you a couple questions before we put our trust in you running this club. Where were you born and raised, boy? I said, Springfield, Illinois, sir. And he goes, that's north of the Red River, ain't it? And I'm like, I have no idea where the Red River is. I'm like, I'm guessing yes. And he goes, son of a bitch, we got us a Yankee. He goes, now, where do you live now, boy? I said, Southern California, sir. And he goes, beautiful, just friggin' beautiful. We got us a Yankee Democrat fag. Oh, yeah.
You're kidding me.
Oh, no, I'm not kidding you at all.
Terrible.
Okay, and I said, well, one out of the 3 is true. Yes. I mean, down East Texas, they're God-loving conservative Republicans. So now the first week, I'm doing my work and so forth, and they invite me. They're like, we heard you're a pretty good player. And I'm like, yeah, well, we'd like you to play in the money game. You ever heard of Cavanagh Boot Stores? 87 stores, 7 states, 8 states. Joe Cavanagh's a good friend of mine. And I'm playing with him and Bubba and a guy named Super Dave that was a...
Not the Super Dave.
No, he was a discus thrower for University of Texas, okay? So I get on the first tee, and I'm like... No, the second tee box. I make birdie on number 1 a par 5, and we're on number 2, and I said, hey, Bubba, how y'all play it down here? Is it by honors or, low score, tees off? And he goes, Jay, we got one code honor down here in Texas. I'm like, okay, what is it? He goes, you get honor and you stay honor. You fall off, you get back honor. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, same hole. Craig hits his shot to 15 feet. Super Dave knocks it 30 feet over the green. I hit it to about 6 feet. And Bubba hits it to about 2 feet, almost hole in one, goes right by the hole. And he goes, Jay, you know what we call that down here in Texas? And I'm like, I call it a good shot.
I can't wait to hear what this means.
We love Texas.
I said, I call it a good shot. And he goes, no, that's a prisoner. And I'm like, what the hell's a prisoner? And he goes, got it inside you. And I'm like, oh, my God. I went home that night to Barbara. I'm like, holy cow.
Honey, we have to move.
We are really down here in Redneck City, I tell you.
We have to move.
We love Texas, though, just for the record.
No, we do. I have one of my best friends
Definitely.
lives
It's
down in Texas.
fantastic.
I was just
Great
saying
state.
I wanted to
Yeah.
go to Texas.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to retire back there. So then we were talking about, you asked during the in-between rounds.
Yes.
My favorite golf courses. First of all, for all the 2 million listeners and viewers, there are so many great sites you can go on. The 100 best golf courses in Massachusetts, okay? Like Crump and Fox is probably an hour and a half from here. Unbelievable golf course. You go to Western Massachusetts, but you can look things up like the top 100 places to play in the country. Some might be private that will allow you on a Monday or Tuesday to play.
Sure.
Okay? The 100 best public golf courses. There are so many gems that you can play. Bethpage. I mean,
we got a lot of shows to do.
So many.
We got lots of shows left. So
it is now being completely blessed, and my top 10 golf courses that I rank them by. I have a top 100. And I've played 90-something courses that have been ranked the top 100, but I have several courses that have never been ranked the top 100. But my top 10 would be Augusta. Pine Valley is the number 1 ranked golf course in the world, and that's in New Jersey. Very, very private. Cypress Point out in Monterey.
Yep.
L.A. Country Club. The U.S. Open is going to be played there, I think, in 23.
23, yeah.
And then Oakmont is the hardest, fairest golf course in America. In fact, U.S. Open trivia, Oakmont Golf Course is the only golf course that's ever held a U.S. Open where they slow the greens down.
Wow.
So if you and Janine are members there, you're putting on faster greens than they have in the U.S. Open. It's a fascinating fact. But L.A. Country Club is in my top 5 for several reasons, but the first time I ever played there is this one I'm giving up trying to play professionally, and a member invites me with 2 other guests. And it started off par 5, and I hit driver 5-wood on the green, and I'm 65 feet away, and the caddy's like, it's a little uphill, so, go ahead and hit it. It's 5 feet outside left, and the thing goes in the hole. And I'm like, that's eagle. The next hole's par 5. I kind of hit it in the woods, hit a 4-iron out, and I've got 152 yards, back right pin, and I hole it. So I'm on the 3rd tee box, and the member says, Jay, you just set a course record. And I'm like, a 2-hole course record? Never heard of that. Because you're the only person to ever be 4 under par after 2 holes at LA Country Club.
Wow.
Now, that record will stand forever because they redesigned.
They changed it to a par 4. Right?
Yeah, 485-yard
awesome.
par 4.
Right.
So
that's the course that Tom Brady played, right, against Peyton Manning, wasn't that?
No, that was down in Florida.
Oh, that was okay.
Started with an M down in Florida. The Tiger belongs and so forth. Which I think Charles Barkley ought to be a guest PGA Tour commentator.
Oh, yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
After that round, yeah.
And then my next 5 is Shinnecock.
Oh, God, yeah.
Chicago Golf Club. Blair Thomas. Thomas Blair is a famous designer. Congressional, Pebble Beach, and Caves Valley.
Nice.
Now, a great story about...
So you got 2 of them in Cypress Point, and you got Pebble Beach and Cypress Point right back.
Yeah,
back
Pebble
with each
Beach
other.
is the most beautiful piece of golf real estate in the world, bar none.
Without a doubt.
Wow.
Okay, here's
See it someday.
Here's a great story about Caves Valley. It's in Owens Mill, Maryland, and I get done playing with the member, and I got him on Augusta, and we both have Augusta sweaters on. And you and Janine played with us, and they have fire pits, and they want people to join other groups. Like Bandon Dunes is the greatest public place to go. Whistling Straits is fantastic, but Bandon Dunes is a place that you skip Ireland and Scotland and go to Bandon Dunes in Oregon. But so it's down to me and Leo, and 4 gentlemen come over from Augusta National members, and they ask us after a couple drinks and appetizers, what is the biggest choke in a major championship? And Leo said Greg Norman, when he had a 7-shot lead, and why, and so forth. And one of the guys takes a hit off a cigar and goes, that ain't what happened. And I'm like, what happened? Well, Greg Norman, I respect him as a golfer, as a man. We don't have to worry about him being in the Eternal Kingdom, in my opinion. But he had his yacht off the coast of Georgia and took his helicopter. Okay, he had his mistress in that yacht. On Saturday night, with a 7-shot lead, his wife flies in from Australia and catches him.
Come on.
Okay. And they stayed up till like 4:30 in the morning begging not to go public with this because all the sponsorships and everything, and Nick Faldo beat him. Okay?
Really?
So Leo and I are on...
Wow, that gives you a totally different perspective because I watched it live. I remember it.
Yeah.
It's clear as day.
Here's the best part. So now we're playing Congressional the next day, 40,000 square foot clubhouse, new bar at the end, and we both have another Augusta shirt on. And our 2 guys stay with us, and 4 guys come and join us. And they're like, Jay, have you played Augusta a lot? And I said, Frank Broyles, I've seen you there. So Leo baits them on what's the biggest choke of a major championship. And they're like, well, what do you guys think? And one of the guys goes, that wasn't there the night before, Greg Norman and the Masters.
Yeah.
Well, tell us why. So he tells them why, because that's not what happened. And the story was identical. All right, so on the way home, I called Dave Lancelot. He's the director of communications for the PGA Tour. Now, the PGA Tour is one of the greatest sports corporations to hide things.
Yep.
To keep the images clean.
Sure.
Okay? But then at the same time, you've got professional athletes that never get arrested hardly ever, never get arrested, don't abuse their wives, their family members, etc. So I called Dave Lancelot. I'm like, Lancelot, I just played Caves Valley yesterday and Congressional today. And I heard this story. Tell me when it goes off the rails. And I went through the whole thing. This is, 12, 13 years ago. And he's like, Jaybird, do me a favor. Don't share that with anyone. That train never went off the rails. And I'm like, oh, my Lord. So, yeah. Then you brought up my favorite golf hole out of all the...
You know what? Let's... Just to interrupt,
Yeah,
sorry.
we're going to save it.
Let's listen to our friends at United Compressor and Pump, our sponsors, and then we're going to get back into
we're going to get back with Jay's favorite golf hole.
Yes, because we want to save that one and some more ticket giveaways. So stay with us. We will be right back. Does your industrial air compressor or pump need repairs? Or do you need a completely new install? Either way, you need United Compressor and Pump. United Compressor and Pump are the experts in industrial compressor and pump installations, maintenance, repairs, and sales. They deliver competent, quick, and incomparable compressor and pump service for commercial and industrial customers in New England. With high-quality products and service, United Compressor and Pump strive to provide same or next-day high-quality service like no one else. So if you need help with your air compressor or pump, then you need to call the company that'll put you first. United Compressor and Pump. Call us today on 603-552-5885. That's 603-552-5885. or visit us at 157A Plastow Road, Plastow, or UnitedCompressor.com. United Compressor and Pump. When you need them, they'll be there.
All right, we're here at the turn. We're starting our back nine again with Jay Miller. Thank you to our friends at United Compressor for sponsoring us. And this back nine is brought to you by our friends at Scott's Roofing. Sean and Darby, good close friends of ours. Scott's Roofing is not just a roofing company or siding company. They're a service company. They service you. They're an incredible people. They answer the phone. You don't get a recording. 603-505-4455 for all of your roofing and siding needs. Scott's Roofing. Thank you guys for sponsoring us too.
Thank you.
So Jay Miller, we're back.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Favorite golf hole?
My favorite golf hole. This is a great story. TPC at Sawgrass. I'm playing with three of my buddies. 17th hole, the island hole, right?
Yep.
And that's my number one. Number two has to be number 7 at Pebble Beach, 115 yards straight downhill.
The downhill one, yep. Perfect.
But 17, it's the first time I've ever played there. And the Bear, we call him the Bear. He played football at Maryland. We are 3 holes or 4 holes ahead of an Asian group behind us. And the Bear was a multimillionaire. And Craig, I'm going to use Craig again, is the ranger, and he comes up, and of course,
I've had lots of jobs in this podcast.
Of course, he's got a iPad thing that tells all the names. Janine, how's your round going? Craig, Jay, Chrissy, and he does that very politely. And the Bear gives him a $100 bill, and he goes, "You know something, Craig? You better go do your job. Those Asian group, really nice guys, but they're 4 holes behind us." And he's like, "Oh my God, thank you so much, Bear." And off he goes. As soon as he turns around that corner on 16 green and starts going down that cart path, Bear looks at us and says, "Boys, empty every ball you got out of your bag." I hit 19 shots on number 17. We're hitting them all at the same time. It looked like a shot tracker. Balls are flying everywhere. But you could if they gave the 4 of us a pitcher of vodka and lemonade and nice lawn chair, you could stay out there all day.
Yeah.
And
what do you normally hit there? Like
a gap wedge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gap wedge or flight down a little wedge if it's in the back right. Yeah. And see, what we did, Craig, is we knew all the pin placements of the TPC championship.
Yeah.
So we were like naming it front left, and so forth. But what about you?
My favorite golf course around here, I've played in Hawaii, we've played in Florida, but around here I have to say Breakfast Hill. It's in Portsmouth. Now I love your Stirling golf courses. I haven't played them all, but I'm sure maybe one of those will take my breath away. But my all-time favorite is North Conway Country Club up in North Conway. It's where Babe Ruth was a member. It's where I had my best round as an amateur.
What'd you shoot?
Shot a 74.
Are you a professional now?
No, I'm not. I'm a professional podcaster, and I'm not. I think I'm amateur at that too.
Well, you know what I think we should do, since Janine is a beginner to golf, starting her lessons, and I want to add something about the lessons. Janine and I were talking swing theory here. But I think we should send you to every one of our golf courses.
Oh, that would be awesome.
So you can see what real public golf is. I mean, our 9-hole, our average rate at 9 holes is $25.
Great. Can't beat it.
Okay. Our highest rack rate on a weekend prime time with cart is $74 at Crystal Lake. But like we could send you to Stoneham. You could play the Little Stoneham Oaks par 3.
Yeah.
And then
sounds great.
Drive 2 minutes, park there, and then play Unicorn, which is a championship 9-hole golf. I'd love to do that with you all.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be a blast.
We will do that.
We loved Crystal Lake. That was awesome.
Like I said, we played. We were going to actually do a show on Crystal Lake because I brought a friend of mine from a friend of Janine's.
Yeah,
they worked together at. Janine works at Lowell General
Tracy
Hospital, and her friend Tracy, her husband, is a state senator in New Hampshire, and we're good friends. And
great guy.
We're both conservatives. He's a very staunch Republican. And we love to get along well and. Played great. He played great golf. He had such a wonderful time at Crystal Lake. It was just so relaxing. The cart girl came over. I mean, we're gonna do a full show on that, and it's gonna be great because we're gonna have Kevin in here too.
Did you by any chance have the Philly cheesesteak that we just got?
No.
No. And then it's the home of the Hardy Burger.
Oh,
named after Rob Hardy.
Yep, I saw that.
Just go have lunch
and not only
sometime.
that, but I got a new fry later, and my French fries are as good as McDonald's.
Nice.
You know.
Well,
We'll
we're
have to
definitely
go
going to go
back
back there and play it again.
Yeah.
It's one of our go-to places. We played it. I probably played it at least a half a dozen times last year in our. You know, it's a great place for her to play. I mean, it's a nice open.
Yeah, I loved it.
You know, it's
A lot
a
of
forgiving
fun.
golf course on that front nine. You know, you got some great holes to. Me personally love the par 3 second hole. Just love that. I love that long
220-yard hole from the back tees.
I love that long par 3.
Yep.
And then I love the short par 5 coming back. You know, and I thought, what's
Number
a better way
3.
to reward people with a tough par 3 is with a nice easy par 5 coming, not easy par 5, but an uphill.
Rob
it's a
Ryan
scoreable. It's a
Rob
scoreable
Ryan and I
par
set
5.
that up, changed from a par 4 to a par 5.
Yeah.
You can make it anywhere from 3 to 8.
Yep.
What I did want to add on a serious note, we've had a lot of fun. Let me tell stories, which my wife would be going like this because she's heard them all. But, you know, I've owned 4 golf schools in my life, and I had professional instructors, but I love to talk swing theory. And you brought up Ben Hogan on the last show, and they went to Ben after he wrote his one book and said, Ben, why don't you write another golf book? And he goes, why? Everything I believe in is in the first book. And but here's a few things for all amateurs, no matter what your ability is over a 5 handicap. Number 1, think of the sport you played in high school or college or as a kid. So you're a basketball player. And if you're a basketball player, I want you to take your free throw stance and posture, but put a golf club in your hands. Number 2, if you're a soccer player, rely on your balance.
Right.
Okay. Number 3, if you're a baseball player, the myth was back then, I can't play golf because I played baseball, and golf's this way and baseball's that way. It's the same dang swing.
Yeah, it really is. It's going this way versus this way.
The shoulders are just not as vertical.
Right.
And baseball players, and hockey players bomb it because they release the club head.
Yeah.
But the people who slice a golf ball left to right, first of all, have your buddy get behind you and put a club on your shoulder line. So if I'm aiming at that corner, I'll put money, the guy that hits it left to right, the shoulders are like this. And as the round goes, he's slicing it more because his shoulders are like that, and he's swinging his shoulder line. You know, start square to square and figure out where you are from there. Another important thing is the tighter you grip a golf club, the more your traps are tight and the less your shoulder turn. And everybody's like, well, Jay, are my hips turning? What should I think about at the top? Should I clear my hips first and no. First of all, you got to stop your 7 key swing thoughts.
Yeah.
Put the logo, I was telling Janine, put the logo of the golf ball at 2 o'clock so you can see it. And your 2 eyes are going to watch that logo until it's gone. All right. So we take the address position.
I have to say, that has got to be one of the most easiest.
Yeah, he showed me him.
Is that the word, most easiest? Yeah.
Yeah.
Easiest
Yep.
golf tip to start with for anyone. I mean, because you're just like, number one, it's got you thinking about nothing except for that. You know what I mean? And that's the great part
exactly.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, we all have friends that play and they're, I'm like, pull the damn trigger. You're not that good, you know?
That's what I said to her. I go, honey, you're standing over that ball like you're going to turn it into something else.
Well, Janine is so excited about becoming a good golfer.
I do. I want it.
And playing places with you, which I love that. But Janine and I are also going over the next step, and that's how to align yourself.
Yep.
Almost all amateurs above 5 handicaps or 10 handicaps, they just jump into their stance. Okay? Instead, can I stand up, Chrissy, on this?
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on this, if I am going this way and my ball's right here, I'm going to pick. That's why all tour players are back here like this. They're not thinking about their swing. They're not thinking about their wife or their kids. They're thinking about how am I going to get this golf ball from point A to point B. So they pick out a little piece of grass right there. Now, and they're also visualizing the flight, and if they're going to move it left to right to left, hit it straight, low, high, but they're visualizing that. Now they're going to line their club head up, and you'll always watch them on TV. They've got their they're open. Their shoulders are open, and they're looking down the line with their dominant eye. So they put the club head down, right going over that piece of grass, and they're going to cover that line. That's what it's called. So they put their club head down, then they take their address position, and then they look down their shoulder line. Okay? The eyes tell the brain they're in a good posture, and they're lined up.
Yep.
Then they blank out. Okay? They blank out. So
what do you mean by that? You're just clearing your head, just gone.
Your eyes have told your brain you're lined up,
Yep.
so why question it? Pull the trigger.
Right.
The next thing is grip pressure. The looser you grip it, the more you can turn your shoulders.
Yep.
Okay, so if the goal is, for all the 2 million listeners and watchers, I want this left shoulder to the chin, private parts to the pin. Okay, so if I
love that. Absolutely love that, too.
If I take my left shoulder and get here, all tour players and great players, their right shoulder gets out of the way.
Yep.
Okay? Show me your muscle at the top, Janine. So my left shoulder goes here. Show me your muscle. Now, when the transition is, when you mow like that, see that? See how my hands just dropped?
Yep.
All right, so I'm starting to clear. Now my hands drop into the slot, and I'm going to cover the spot in front of my ball with keeping my right shoulder behind the ball at impact, because I got my eyes on the logo, don't I?
Yep.
So when you're out there playing with your buddies, play it up. Give yourself a good lie and put that ball right there.
Sure.
So now
that's another thing people don't understand. When you're not on
playing the US
tour
Open
here. No marshal's coming over to let you know that you just fudged up. You know what I mean? Like, you got to understand. Like, even in our league, every week, they're like, listen, just turn it over. Give yourself a good lie. Why are you trying to kill yourself? Like, we want you want the best out of your golf game all the time, and you're not going to learn anything by hitting it out of a wall. You know what I mean? Or hitting it, if you're like up against something, just move it a little bit.
The PGA Tour players have tried for 25 years to get a free drop out of the divot in the fairway because it's really ground under repair.
Sure.
So to finish the golf swing, so we cover this, and then we finish with both hands over our left shoulder, and our back of our right shoe should be like that.
Yep.
And that's all it is. I got a great divot story for you.
Okay.
How about we give away some tickets quickly
go ahead.
first? So going on all these amazing
I love how
tips
Chrissy
you're giving.
keeps us. She snaps us
She
like
is.
right
She's
back in
awesome.
line.
I
like
try. It's my job. But we were talking about like learning golf, and for someone such as myself, a female who's never played golf ever in her life, but I'm very interested now, and I'm going to, and I'm very excited. Let's give away some tickets for some lady golfers. So if you are a beginner to golf, and you are a female,
Or
and
you want
have
to
a
try
friend,
golf for the first time.
Yes, actually, you know what?
And
If
you
you're
want to
just
enjoy
interested
a
like
hearty
me,
burger or a steak and cheese.
there you go. You can win a twosome, which if you're new, you might not know like me, and I had to ask these guys to educate me. That's two people get to play a full round of golf with cart included at any of the Stirling golf courses. Write in to us, contact us through our Facebook page. Use the code Golf Lady, and you can win
we will accept girl power too, if you like.
All right, you can use girl power as well.
Golf lady or girl power.
Golf lady or girl power, and you can win 2 tickets. No, I'm doing it wrong again. See, a twosome of golf, including cart at any of the Stirling golf courses.
We're going to make a golfer out of Chrissy yet.
I know. I'm learning. I'm taking over my little.
She's got the accent. And
I try. I know.
Yeah.
And the female golf announcers are on Morning Drive or from Australia.
I have a thought.
Yep.
Should we tell them our new?
Oh, we're really pushing our idea. I like the continuity through episodes. Yeah. So they were educating me on the fact that pro golfers, the men have to wear pants. They're not allowed to wear shorts. And I said, that's very interesting. I said, well, how about the women? Are they allowed to wear shorts or skirts? Like, yeah, of course. I said, well, that's not very PC, is it? Like, it's not very. Where's the equality in that? So for once, the men can't wear what the women can. Then we said, oh my goodness, what about golf kilts?
Ever played?
Why can't the men wear skirts?
See like a shark on a golf kilt?
No, but you know why Scottish men wear kilts?
Oh, God.
Because sheep can hear a zipper a mile away. My caddy told me that at St. Andrews.
Oh, my goodness.
That's awesome. We said men on the golf carts bringing up
Okay,
the
now
beer.
they're,
Oh, my goodness.
Chrissy, only one time they allowed on a PGA Tour event, it was in the high 90s, low 100s in the Midwest, and a regular PGA Tour. And
That's
they allowed
Oklahoma
to wear,
or something, right?
Yeah,
Was
they
it
allowed
like
them to
a
wear
US
shorts.
Open there, where it was like
No, it wasn't a major, but it was a
okay.
PGA Tour event. Now, in
think it's
practice
100
rounds, Christy, they can wear
Yeah.
shorts. In pro-ams, they can wear shorts.
Okay.
But Tim Herron, they called him Lumpy. If you saw that man on TV in a pair of shorts, you might turn it off.
Yeah.
There is a reason. So I wanted to tell.
Well,
quick-
they mostly have white legs too. A lot of
Yeah.
them. I saw DJ yesterday hitting balls. Of course, we talked about that in a previous episode, and he is brown as the day is long. His
Yeah.
legs are nice and brown. I'm like, all right. I mean, to me, I understand it, and I get the, but I think the PGA, I think golf as a whole is evolving even more. Because we talked about it in our last episode, but golf is evolving where the younger generation is taking it and they're morphing it into this a social event. Like instead of going to a party like you're talking about, or day drinking or something like that, they're going to play golf and enjoying themselves, and they're listening to
they're
the
great.
music, and they're a lot of the muni places, they're not wearing the collared shirts
Well,
anymore.
attire started
and-
changing about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
For example, Newton Commonwealth, all our golf courses, we have nice T-shirts made in Massachusetts with our logo on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so and even the private clubs starting allowing jeans at dinner, and you could play golf in jeans in the fall and the early spring when it's colder. They just can't have any rips in them and so forth.
That's
a good
and
idea.
the golf
It does get
industry
cold.
is realizing that the stuffiness.
Yeah.
You guys and the younger people don't want it. They don't want to hear about
Right.
it. They don't want to see the general manager of a club walking around with a blazer with a logo on it.
Right.
No.
Telling you to be quiet.
And all my general managers.
I think of Ted Knight whenever
Oh,
whenever I
God.
think of if you think of the atypical golfer back it's Ted Knight, and I don't know if you've ever met him or if you've ever talked with him, but I mean
he should have got an Oscar. Though.
he really was
God, yeah.
the funniest. That is one of the most funniest physical comedy that he could ever do too.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's as much as you're going to get from Ted Knight on.
Oh,
physical
by the way,
comedy.
you know the Haven camps that came over for tea?
Yes.
That's a peach hunt? That really is the Haven camps. They belong to that club. They are not actors. That was actually the Haven camps. I wanted to tell you a story about, Severino Ballesteros, who won the Masters twice in British Open. Okay. Jose Maria Alfabal, I've got the pleasure of having dinner with him, playing with him a couple times. He is a great guy.
Really?
God, what a great guy. But this is 2002 or 3, I want to say. He's telling me the story of him and Seve are playing a match televised on Europe. It's like Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. Remember?
Yeah,
Are you old enough
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're each getting paid $100,000, and whoever wins gets another $75,000. Now, Seve is a real prick when you play golf with him. He's a gamemanship. He coughs. He chews gum on purpose,
Yeah.
and he'll never give you a drop.
Right.
So it's getting down to the second to last hole, and they're dead tied, and they both hit beautiful drives over the hill, down the hill, and Seve's talking to some reporters and so forth, and Jose comes over the hill, and he goes down to the 2 golf balls. One's in a divot, one's perfectly in line. So he goes to Seve, so you're now Seve, and Jose's making the presentation. Seve, the ball's in a divot. The ball's in a divot. We're on national or European TV. It's a friendly match. $75,000 to the winner. It's not going to change our lives. We're both getting paid good money. I think that ball should get a drop in the fairway. No.
You play it where it lies.
You play it where it lies. No drop. And he goes, good. That's your ball. It's one of my favorite.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
my God! And we've done it again, you guys. I don't mean to interrupt, but we're out of time. I could sit here and listen to this all day. I mean, we could seriously do episode 3, episode 4, episode 5.
I think we ought to have a show at the happy hour.
Yeah.
Right?
There you
I think
go.
we should. There you
We
go.
can smoke a cigar.
Yeah, we can.
Right, we definitely
Well, we'll
could.
have Jay back. Jay, we'll do some. We'll play some golf
Yeah,
with Jay.
yeah, definitely.
And then
It's
we'll
gonna
have
be
you
exciting.
back, and we'll come back in the fall or something like that. And
Oh,
after the
please.
summer's over, and we can hear some more stories. And
I would love to
we'll
come
see.
back next spring, the week of Augusta, the
Perfect.
Masters.
There you
because-
go.
Excellent.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I've got some great.
That'll be great.
stories
Well, that's
to
a
tell you
date.
about Augusta.
We-
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Let's lock that in.
And I'd love to get out and play golf with you and Janine.
I would love that.
And maybe we take Chrissy and make
Yes.
her hit a couple
Please,
shots.
I want to
Oh, that
learn.
would
I
be
want
so
to
much
learn.
fun.
Yep.
Excellent.
Jay and I will be
Yeah.
in one cart. You girls can handle the other cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and here's one for you, right? May your swing be straight and your ball fly far. May your round be blessed with no worse than par.
Yeah. You guys are great. What
Thank
a
you
fun
very much,
show.
Jay.
Thank you so much for having me.
You made it
Chrissy,
very
we love
fun.
you. You're
Hey,
the best.
I love you guys.
Thanks.
This has been
And,
amazing.
Tune in next week. We'll see you guys. Happy 30th anniversary to my lovely wife here.
Happy 30th.
Yep. And,
And
we'll
Chrissy,
see you
I'm so
guys.
glad you got to meet me.
Me too. Thanks. You're so modest. Oh my goodness.
Bye, guys.
All right, on that note.
Have a great day.
Love you all. Take
See
care.
you soon.
Tea and high.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.